at it again, and the signs of the wave, they're here. All right. As I've touched on more previously, I've been taking a look at some of these polls and things, peeking at them, and the New York one is quite interesting. Very interesting to say the least. It is getting pretty darn close. Really close, which is just crazy to say about New York at this point, because we've watched some videos from New York and we know how those videos typically go. All right. So we're going to be checking out a little something today that I think you guys might find very interesting. And puts a smile on my face, and I'm sure it'll put a smile on your face as well. So before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you are not subscribed to the channel already, hit that subscribe button down below and join the family, all right? And with that being said, let's dive in.
Welcome back. Well, we are in countdown mode. 23 days left until November's pivotal midterm elections. And one of the major issues that will be on the ballot is crime. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, just some of the major cities that have seen a major spike.
40% in Chirac. 40. I can't believe Los Angeles is only 10. With the amount of videos that I've seen of just like, why, I wonder how they're getting their statistics on that. I mean, because I've seen some wild videos coming out of California, in Los Angeles. I mean, the stuff that goes on, I mean, it is just absolutely, people just broad daylight breaking into cars. Broad daylight. Literally, there was a video of a sheriff. I can't remember if he was from Los Angeles, but it was a California sheriff that was telling tourist folks, hey, don't leave anything valuable in your car. Because that's how brazen these criminals have become in California. Like, don't care, broad daylight, pull up, bust out your window, grab and peel out. And there's nothing the officers could do about it. You know, it's crazy out there.
In crime this year under progressive prosecutors. Last weekend, crime literally came to the front doorstep of New York Republican gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin's home on Long Island when two teenagers were shot outside of Zeldin's home while his daughters were inside doing their homework. And this is not the first time this year Zeldin has dealt with crime personally in New York. In July, he was attacked while on the campaign trail by a man wielding a sharp object. As crime has become a central issue in Deep Blue, New York, Zeldin is within 2 points of Governor Kathy Hochul in the latest poll from Trafalgar.
Now, it's important to note that I remember seeing Hochul, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Kathy, have like a 17-point lead on Zeldin. 17. If I remember correctly, it was a huge lead. Now look at it. Gas prices are going back up, and obviously that's not good. That's gonna look real bad. Crime ain't going down anytime soon, so that's gonna be getting worse.
Joining me right now is New York Republican gubernatorial candidate Congressman Lee Zeldin himself. Congressman, it's great to see you today. Thanks very much for being here. And now your race is being called a toss-up.
That's right. I mean, I'm feeling it on the ground. I don't care whether I'm in a Republican county or a blue county. I could be talking to a Republican, a Democrat, independent. A lot of New Yorkers are just really fed up with Kathy Hochul. She's doing a terrible job as governor. New Yorkers are leaving this country, this state, more than any other state across the entire country. And the reason why is because Albany has been attacking their safety, attacking their wallets, and they're heading for opportunities elsewhere. So there's a vibe on the ground that there needs balance restored to Albany. People want to save the state. They want to save New York City. And they're tired of having to wake up every morning and read all of the headlines of a rising crime in their own neighborhood, places where they used to feel safe and walk the streets comfortably, and now they're calling an Uber just to go a couple blocks.
That's right. And that is why you are closing in on Kathy Hochul. Real Clear Politics said it was a toss-up yesterday. Let me ask you, Congressman, what your plans are should you win in your first 100 days. What are you going to do?
Listen, I want to do everything I possibly can in the first 100 minutes. I mean, I want to have a very active day one. I just announced a couple days ago that as soon as I am sworn into office, I'm going to be declaring a crime emergency here in the state of New York. I'm going to suspend New York's cashless bail laws and some other pro-criminal laws that have been passed, force the legislature to come to the table to negotiate an improvement because we have to take back our streets. We need law-abiding New Yorkers back in control of New York streets instead of criminals. And there are people who are in charge right now, from Kathy Hochul to these Democrats controlling the state legislature, who feel like they haven't passed enough pro-criminal laws. So this is an action on day one. I've previously announced that my first action, my first day that I'm in office, is telling the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg that he's being removed for his refusal to enforce the law. But it doesn't stop there. We need to support our men and women in law enforcement. We need to make sure, whether it's cashless bail.
I'm probably going to have to blur out all of these videos that they're playing over here because, yeah, it is wild what they are showing. They're basically showing a bunch of criminals doing the unthinkable, all right? Well, robbing folks at, weapon point, okay? I got to be careful with my words because I don't want YouTube to come after me, all right? But, yeah, so I'm probably going to have to censor all this. This is just absolutely nuts.
Less is more, raise the age, HALT Act, some of these other names of laws that have passed, which don't get as much attention, are resulting in people getting hurt, law-abiding New Yorkers getting hurt. So I'm pretty motivated to do everything in my power in the first 100 minutes to take back the state. And listen, there's going to be opportunities beyond that, but we're going to have a very aggressive day one so that New Yorkers know that we're wasting no time to restore the state to glory.
Well,
so, as you guys just saw, in that video there, crime is absolutely rampant in New York. All right. But then also on top of that, they want to disarm citizens by any means necessary. Now, I got another video that I'm going to be combining with the clip you just saw from Campus Reform, asking New Yorkers about one of these policies that Hochul has put forth in New York. Let's jump into it. Check this out.
I'm Rachel Kennedy with Campus Reform, and we're here at Columbia University. In response to the Supreme Court striking down a state law that required citizens to provide proof of proper cause to obtain a concealed carry permit, New York is now strengthening regulations and expanding background checks as part of the Concealed Carry Improvement Act. What do students think about these new regulations? Invasive background checks that require them giving up their social media accounts? Let's go see what they have to say. Governor Hochul and the state legislature recently passed new regulations for individuals who are seeking to obtain a concealed carry permit. So one of those regulations is providing licensing officers a list of current and former social media accounts from 3 years. And it's to determine if an individual has good moral character. Do you believe social media to be a good verifier of a person's moral character?
So while they won't outright ban you from carrying, they'll try to make it really, really difficult. And I'm sure this whole process is really, really BS because they'll point out something very minute. Oh, well, no. Remember you said, I don't know, power to the people? Well, what does that mean? Or something. Did you mean that you were going to go out and take over? I got a feeling that's the kind of BS that they're going to be on in terms of this law, which is, it's just wild in the first place. I have to let you know about my social media. So what happens if I just delete, my social media apps, right? And just say, if you came across it, hey, that's not me. What happens? What are you going to confiscate my phone to try to prove it? Like, how does this even work? What if I gave you a fake social media page? Like, how do y'all feel about that? I think it's completely bogus in BS, but an invasion of privacy, honestly, complete invasion of privacy. That's what we have background checks. Like, come on. Why do I need to give you my social media? Sheesh.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. I mean, for one thing, many social media is anonymous, so I don't even know how we'd enforce that. But two,
Facts.
like, first, if the idea of the government deciding what's good and moral sounds very...
Great point.
I don't know, it's something out of a novel.
Sometimes
Great point.
you can try to fake something So I don't think it's a good way to say if you are a good person or bad person.
There needs to be more targeted approaches. I don't know what they are, but I think that just generally saying we're going to surveil your social media is maybe a bit too broad.
What would a targeting campaign look like?
Well, I think that, yeah, I'm maybe not the best person to ask about it, but I think that background checks are important. I guess the question is more so about what goes into those. I think I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit through this.
I think this tactic will be used for bad reasons that will come against the will for the new African and Black people to self-determination.
Part of this is that a licensing officer will meet with the individual face-to-face and go over their social media accounts with them as part of the registration process. Do you think that their time is better spent elsewhere?
Yeah, I think that's pretty weird.
For sure. Yeah.
We got some common sense New Yorkers, and it's showing in the polls, and obviously it's showing here. Hey, for all my fellow New Yorkers, all right? Hey, y'all going in the right direction.
Definitely. Okay. I mean, if I don't know, gun control is important. I think if it stops something bad from happening, then it's worth it.
How in God's name would they check that you're giving them all your social media? Especially when so many just, you don't need to put a real username in.
Great question.
It seems like a performative waste of time, in my opinion.
How do you think making it more difficult for the law-abiding citizen to get a permit keep it out of criminals' hands?
Let me think. Yeah, I guess it probably doesn't do much. I think the people that are using guns for bad purposes will probably still get them.
Like with
Bing, 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 bing. They're called criminals for a reason. They don't care about your laws or your regulations. So you stop the law-abiding citizens from acquiring weapons, but the criminals have them. So how does that work out? Well, we know exactly how that works out. Anybody with half of a brain knows how that equation ends, okay? Criminal has weapon, good guy doesn't. Well, doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that one out.
with other things that are controlled, like drugs, for example, you can make something illegal, and if people want to, they can find ways of obtaining it anyway, right?
Facts.
That are illegal. But does that mean that we should make it legal? I don't know.
Well, it is legal. It's just a lot more difficult for someone like me to get one.
Yeah. But this is kind of where I would say, all right, well, maybe the policy objective should be cracking down on illegal weapons, right?
They're just going to allow white supremacists to own guns regardless. I think that the issues regarding most of the violence in our country is reflective of this country being founded on unfathomable violence.
Okay, I mean, if you're really racist about this, I don't really want to do the interview. Like illegals and criminals, there are human beings here, and if you're really mad at them based on where they're from or what their history is, that's that's kind of up.
Wait, what?
I don't have much more to say if you're gonna say illegals are here.
No, I said criminals.
I think our focus,
bro, these last two people, this guy and the last one, what the frick are they talking about? Hold on, let's hear what this guy has to say, though.
shouldn't be on the specific law, and it should be on how, by any means, we can destroy the state. Thank you very much. More power to the people.
What the I'm confused. Anyway, well, so Kathy Hochul and people like Eric Adams Goodness gracious. You guys remember the clip that we checked out of Eric Adams, and he was like, could you imagine being on the subway and somebody having a concealed pistol? It's just like, man, this guy's a joke. He's a joke. He's a whole joke. And then on top of that, we checked out a video, or maybe I watched it on my own, but there was a video of him. He had confiscated like a bunch of dirt bikes and four-wheelers and ATVs and stuff like that. And he had a bulldozer running over the top of them to destroy them. And he's over here clapping. I'm doing such a good job. And I'm like, you freaking idiot. You could have sold those, right? Because now those are just destroyed. I mean, it's just a bunch of plastic that's about to go to the dump. Let me be respectful. You could have sold them. You could have donated them. Those were perfectly good vehicles, perfectly good dirt bikes and ATVs and that sort of thing. Like, you could have done some good with those instead of just destroying them. And he's but crying about somebody possibly having a concealed carry next to him on the subway, which he doesn't ride the subway. Stop it with the nonsense. He knows how bad those subways are. But anyway, sheesh Louise. And that is why these polls, and Kathy Hochul is no better than Eric, all right? No better. I want to say she made one of the same, a similar statement in terms of concealed carry. I forgot what it was, but it was similarly stupid, okay? But yeah, that's why these polls are flipping. She went from a 17-point lead, or almost a 17-point lead, to now a 2. Which I believe is in the margin of error. Bye-bye, Kathy. See you later. Congratulations, you played yourself. Anyway, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.